How Chinese factory supply chain really works.
This part right here, it was made by a factory most overseas buyer would never find. No English website, no Alibaba page, no visible international sales channel, and yet, if you're building a hardware business, this might be exactly the kind of factory you need.
Ecosystem around Dongguan can provide everything. Everything can be made around Dongguan.
Hi, I'm Jase, a fractional CTO for hardware businesses. At Geniotek, we help founders go from concept to prototype to production, including finding a right manufacturing path in China. Last week, we visited one of these small precision CNC factories in Dongguan, and we brought a camera with us.
你好，拍一下环境，宣传一下嘛，中国的工艺，这些东西嘛。
This is a small precision machining factory on a single floor. It is less than 300 square meters with about 10 workers and 8 CNC machines, 4 5-axis machines and 4 3-axis machines. They do not produce finishing products, but they produce components, the part that goes inside someone else's product. That include alloy parts, custom geometry, complex housing, and small batches precision components. What made this visit especially interesting is that the owner also runs another factory that manufacturing CNC machines.
为什么当初想做这个 CNC 的？我是以前最早都是从事这个行业的。
So basically, he knows this product inside out, and he understands machining from both sides. The machining that does work and the part that comes off it. There is nothing flashy here, just machine, operators, samples, parts, and a factory built to solve production problems. When people imagine Chinese manufacturing, they usually imagine something very large. Bright lights, automated line, large-scale assembly, the kind of factory built for volume. And yes, those factories absolutely exist. But if you are actually building hardware, especially in an early stage, you learn that something important very quickly.
And there you go, there is
The biggest factory is not always the right factory.
Here in China, if you have a small batch production, it is a good place.
Factories like this are valuable not because they are large, because they are close to the product.
Whoa. That's the traffic in China. It's never felt safe.
The typical orders is not a massive production run. It is one part, a few dozen parts, or a few hundred parts. And that is exactly why that matters. They are often the better fit for complex small parts, non-standard geometries, urgent prototypes, and design changes that happens during development. In other words, they are often better suited to the uncertainty of early-stage hardware. This is also a good example of how the manufacturing system works in China. It is not one single category called factory. It is a layered ecosystem. At the top, you have large trading companies that manage big international accounts and coordinate resources. At the middle, you have scaled factories that are strong and standardized high-volume production. And underneath, you have smaller, specialized factories like this one, focused on components works, precision machinings, and lower volume production. So, when a customers want to finish products, they usually go to the end product factories. Then behind the scenes, the factories work with smaller factories like this one to produce the individual components. That is why a small factory can still play a critical role in much larger supply chain. It may not be customer facing, it may not sell directly to overseas buyers, but it can still be essential part of how the final product gets made.
Who this kind of factory is right for.
This layer of system is particularly useful for a specific type of customer. So if you're looking for alloy component with unique shapes, for example, turbine-like parts, impellers, custom housing, or other precision machine components, and you need in a small batches, this kind of factories can be a very good fit. It is also a strong fit if you are still prototyping, still iterating, or still refining your design. At this stage, what matters most is usually not the lowest unit price, but what matters is speed, flexibility, responsive, and the ability to change without slowing down the whole project.
There was once a foreign trade customer who placed an order requesting that we produce samples quickly. Normally, we rest on Sundays. Since he was in a hurry, we adjusted our working hours. We prepared the ingredients on Saturday and then sent out on Sunday.
A large factory is not bad at this kind of work. It's simply built for a different stage of the product journey. Once a product is stable and ready for large-scale production, the right manufacturing layer usually changes.
Generally, different large factories have different machine configuration. Orders that are not profitable for large factories are often assigned to us for production because our machines are more flexible and have higher processing efficiency. At the same price, large factories cannot guarantee a profit, but they can make money by sending them to us. I'm talking about orders for high-precision parts. For ordinary parts that can be processed by general machines, we don't have an advantage in doing them ourselves. We can only ask our cooperative factories for help, and that works.
So, the question is not just, can this factory make this part? The better question is this the right factory layer for the stage my product is in right now? And is this kind of factory suitable for your products?
Why you usually cannot find factories like this online?
One reason this layer is often misunderstood is that most of these factories are hard to find from the outside. Usually, they do not have direct customer channel. They may not have English-speaking sales staff. They often do not marketing internationally. And in many cases, they do not need to.
Because our factory has been operating in the area for a long time, many of our old customers have recommended new clients to us, bringing in orders. Occasionally, a few trading companies bring in direct customers.
Their strength is manufacturing, not international marketing. So, while they make highly capable, they remain largely invisible to most overseas buyers.
One issue is that the factories lack understanding of the process, and another is that the customer's demands and the delivery cycles don't match. These are the concerns of the surrounding factories regarding foreign trade orders.
This is exactly why visits like this matter to Geniotek. We don't just help founders find factories. We help them understand which part of the manufacturing system fit their business best. Depends on whether they are at the concept stage, prototype stage, component sourcing stage, and preparing for production. Because one of the most expensive mistakes in hardware is not choosing wrong supplier. It is choosing the wrong layer of supplier chain too early. And big parts of our job helping founder to avoid that mistake. If you're building hardware, want to help finding the right manufacturing path in China, book a call with us at Geniotek. And if this video helps you to understand the system a little bit better, leave a comment and tell us what you're building and subscribe if you want to see more factories like this. At Geniotek, we help founders move from concept to prototype to production. With the right engineering support, the right factory access, the right strategies for stages they're in. See you in the next one.